Welcome. I'm Pete Steadman, your host and co-creator of the Ripple Revolution Summit. There has never been a better time to live your soul's purpose and initiate change than now. I have immense gratitude for you for taking time out of your busy life and showing up here today in the fullness and busyness of life. You took time for yourself, to put yourself first for once, and come to this sacred event to connect and learn about creating your ripple. So I'd like to start by setting a container for the next 5 sacred days together. All of us as one, you, me, the other attendees, the other people who'll be listening to this recording, the incredible speakers who are generously sharing their gifts and wisdom over the next 5 days to illuminate your path to the highest potential and guide you over and around obstacles in your life, to accelerate you towards your higher purpose, if you choose to receive and take action. So let's just slow down for a moment before we start. I invite you to get comfortable, close your eyes, and let out a big sigh. Release all the events and happenings that you have gone through today just to get here. Leave that behind. This moment is made just for you. Allow yourself to be here fully and completely. Congratulate yourself for taking this time for your soul's evolution. Allow yourself to be here. You have arrived. I honor your arrival and presence. Welcome home. With your eyes remaining closed, slow down your breathing. Reconnect to your breath. Feel the air enter your lungs and leave. Long, slow, deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. Allow yourself to really reconnect to your breath and feel the absolute pleasure in breathing. Have you ever slowed down enough to experience the breathing? That breathing can actually be very pleasurable. This is such a sacred act which is taken so for granted. For breath is life. Breath is the only thing that is with us our entire life. Your life started with your first breath and will end with your last. Now let's energetically link arms as we embark on this journey together, this journey of reconnecting to ourselves, to each other, this journey of releasing everything holding you back so you have the courage to boldly step into the unknown, this journey to uncover who you truly are and access your highest potential, your soul's purpose. At this moment, I set the intention for this summit to provide you with the necessary epiphanies, tools, and resources to be able to enjoy a meaningful life as you fulfill your soul's purpose and start creating your ripples for the benefit of future generations. Take one last deep belly breath and open your eyes. Welcome. I would like to welcome each and every one of you to the Ripple Revolution Summit. Thank you very much for joining the Ripple Revolution. It's both a joy and a pleasure to be here with you. Each of you, every one of you. I truly hope that this global summit is enlightening for you and supports you on your journey through life so that you can uncover your gift and have the courage and necessary tools to share it. I am immensely grateful for everyone involved in the creation of this wonderful event, the speakers who are generously sharing their genius, personal experiences, and gifting you the practical tools to empower you to create the remainder of your life on your terms. And of course, you. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to be a part of this illuminating gathering. You have already taken your first imperfect action towards your higher purpose by simply saying yes to joining the Ripple Revolution and showing up here today, now. I see you, and I see the potential within you. I would like to extend a special thanks to my incredible wife, Letitia, who's been instrumental in the creation of this summit over the last 9 months. She is very sorry she is not here today to present alongside me, as we normally do. It was always the plan to be co-hosting the summit together, However, after several months of sickness, Waldorf homeschooling our 3 boys, and running our other businesses, she very reluctantly decided to pull out of this one so that she could show up more fully as a conscious parent and Waldorf teacher for our children, and wait until our 2-year-old doesn't need her quite so much. So I get you all to myself, and I am really excited for this week together as we go on a journey to uncover who you truly are, and for you to let go of any limitations or beliefs that are holding you back so that you have what you need to shine your light. So let's begin. We are living in intense times, and everyone's life is so full. There is so much going on. Busyness, inflation, government controls, regulations, massive betrayals, death of loved ones, loss of money, loss of jobs, loss of freedoms, just to name but a few. My newsfeed talks about impending economic crash and global reset. More and more people are turning to distractions and addictions to numb their senses, seeking validation from others and filling the void inside them through consumerism as a way of escaping from their reality. People are literally drowning under expectations of others and just trying to get through the day. There is so much to deal with right now, more than ever before. We are really in intense times, both energetically and physically. Globally, we are living in these energies, and we can feel it. What does it all mean? It means that we are at a turning point. We have entered a new paradigm. So a question for you, or a couple of questions actually. So how are you going to deal with it? How are you going to show up in the face of adversity? Are you going to continue hiding in the shadows? If you are doubting your abilities, as I was when I began, I still do from time to time, I invite you to consider the following quote by Margaret Mead. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. So this is a journey which begins with us. It begins with each of us. We are all creator beings, and we all have the ability to change the course of our lives and even history through the choices that we are willing to make. These choices can create ripples that will radiate outwards, resulting in a revolution. If you choose to take action now. As I shared earlier, my name is Pete Steadman. I am the host and the co-creator of the Ripple Revolution Summit. Thank you for being here. The theme, or my theme, is create a ripple of impact through living an inspired life. So I want to take you on a little bit of a journey. I want to share who I am and what inspired me to create this event. I say I and we because both I'm here presenting and we use the we because my wife is instrumental. So please forgive me if I digress between the two. I am the creator of my unconventional life. By following my intuition and taking imperfect actions, I am a business and finance mentor who's deeply passionate about guiding purpose-driven professionals on a journey to uncover what is truly essential to them, unleash their potential, create or restructure their business in a way that's aligned with their priorities and values so that they can embody their gift, live their soul's purpose. Bear with me just one second. Embody their gift, live their soul's purpose, and create their ripple. I'm also an international real estate investor, author, speaker, and visionary, husband to the most amazing wife, Letitia, and father to 3 incredible boys. Together, we are currently pursuing a career in oxygen farming while creating a regenerative agroforestry project in Costa Rica, where people will be able to reconnect to themselves through experiences in nature. We are regenerating 57 acres of recovering cow pasture to be a micro-community, eco-business park with tree houses and elevated walkways, botanical garden, and a seed bank for future reforestation projects. I am also a facilitator, of transformative travel experiences to rapidly accelerate people towards their ripple of impact. We designed and built our own expedition vehicle to go on an overland journey from Portland to Patagonia, to Portland, Oregon in the US, to the southern tip of South America, not the clothing store. And our journey started out by going 1,000 miles the wrong way. So the journey through life is not direct, it's not linear. It's a journey that we have been on for the past 7 years. I don't know if we will ever finish. I don't know if we will get to Patagonia. We've got as far as Panama so far, but sometimes life shows us and presents us opportunities that we can't foresee, but we have to start the journey. Our mission is to be the change we want to see in the world, as Mahatma Gandhi so eloquently stated. We want to inspire others that they too can live their life with passion, create financial freedom, and fulfill their soul's purpose, while at the same time creating a deep level, connecting on a deep level to humanity and to Mother Earth herself. So why me? And why now? As I embark on my 45th journey around the sun today, yes, today is my 44th birthday, and it's my gift to you is this amazing lineup of speakers to help propel you forward on your soul's evolution. It gives me great pleasure to share it with you all, and thank you for being here. So I've worked with the number 711 for years, 7 being the 7th day of the 11th month. And also the summit is airing on the 7th of November to the 11th of November. And I want to share the significance of this number with you because you're probably not aware or have never even considered looking it up. However, I've lived this with this my entire life. It is time to let go of the past so you can move on from self-blame and poise yourself for a bright future. It's time to make some changes in your life and embark on a new journey. I'm curious, how does that resonate for you? Do you feel you're at that point in life that it's time to let go of the past so that you can move on? Let go of self-blame and poise yourself for a bright future. It is time to make some changes in your life and embark on a new journey. It's no accident that we're here together. I don't know what it was or how we've come to be here, but I'm grateful for this moment in time. So anyway, speaking about journeys, let me share a little bit about my journey, which brought me to creating a revolution. I'm going to take you back to when I'm a 7-year-old boy. I'm standing in green corduroy shorts, a sports jacket, and socks pulled up to my knees, watching as my parents drove away. I timidly stepped into the unknown. I was being dropped off at an English boarding school for the first night of what would be the next 11 years of my life. It was kind of like Hogwarts, but completely devoid of magic. And I happened to arrive by steam train. My parents were doing what they could, what they thought was right. It wasn't the right thing based on the societal influence and systems that they lived in. They wanted me to have better employment opportunities than my dad. However, from my point of view, which was distorted by tears, it certainly didn't feel that way. It would be 3 weeks until I would see my parents again, and a blanket of abandonment was placed over my light. I have very few memories of my time in boarding school. Maybe my subconscious is trying to protect me from something. The majority of the memories that I do have are tied to needing to be seen and noticed, coupled with simultaneously wanting to be invisible. After 11 years in boarding school, I had become incredibly good at not expressing my feelings or showing emotions, something I'm not so good at now, and I'm happy for that. I had discovered that this was safe. I discovered at the time that it was safer for me not to cry, or at least not to be seen crying. As other kids got teased for that, as if it was a sign of weakness. So I adopted phrases like leave emotion at the door to prove that I was tough Although my exterior was hardening to my environment, my love for myself certainly wasn't increasing. The high cost of boarding school fees for my brother and I was sucking the profits from the family farm. And my parents weren't in a position to go on holidays, sometimes for years, and days off were few and far between. Other people's expectations were consuming them. My mum started to challenge those expectations and sought work outside of the farm. She learned a new skill to earn money for special occasions and little getaways. My dad knew that things had to change, but felt powerless while his father was alive, as he thought he would have disappointed him, being judged for letting the family name down and branded as a failure by neighboring farming communities. He was afraid to fail in somebody else's eyes. He and I were strategizing his escape. I guess that's where my mentoring started. And he finally came to the decision to sell the farm, but he didn't live long enough to see the fruits of his struggles. This is a hard part for me. Then 20 years ago, on May 28th, 20 years ago on May 28th, I got a phone call from my mum. All that I remember was Dad has died. Please excuse me. The rest was a blur. I spoke to my dad the evening before his passing, and I would love to say that we discussed something meaningful, but in truth, I don't know. I had an exam the next morning, and he was going up to his gym. That was his escape from his everyday grind. I didn't even end by saying how much I love him. Or how grateful I was for everything that he had done for me when I hung up. I was just 23. And the thought of him not being there tomorrow had never crossed my mind. He was on the phone with the bank manager when he took his last breath, still holding a cigarette. His coping mechanism for the stress that he was enduring and the heart attack that followed was how it ended. He essentially failed school and went home to farm at 16 for the remaining 38 years of his life. He was the 5th generation on our family farm in Wales, and I would have been the 6th. The weight of other people's expectations had bound him to his way of life. Previous generations had made money and achieved success. However, farming was moving from a way of life into a business that he wasn't equipped with. In true boarding school fashion, I didn't even cry at his funeral. My shell was impenetrable, and I was emotionally empty. I share this with you, because you too probably know someone whose life ended too soon. From illness or a tragic accident, it's a harsh reality that life can be short. Life is precious, the moments matter. We have a brief existence on earth, and then we too will return to where we came from. We have no idea when, where, or how our journey will end. So I started to wonder I started to question, what is the point of life? I started to wonder if his purpose was to set future generations free from the burden of the farm, as well as expectations of family members and society to conform. Maybe his purpose was to initiate the course of action, thus creating his own ripple, which would have a much greater impact on the world. I hope you're able to hear me through this. After his passing, I started to explore. There has to be a better way of living. I can't believe the sole reason that we are here in this lifetime is just to pay bills and die. I just had no idea what this was, where to start, or who to talk to about it. I knew I didn't belong on the farm, or even in Wales. In my family's societal circles, where the constant comparison, other people's opinions, and judgment was intense. And you wouldn't amount to anything unless you ended up in the financial district of London. I could feel that, and I started to pursue opportunities overseas. When I started to talk about things that I wanted to do, doors opened and conversations turned into opportunities. I was able to escape and begin creating life on my terms. It was liberating for my soul. Changing my environment made a huge difference, and seemingly tiny changes like dropping the R from Peter to become Pete made a big difference too. Since leaving the UK, I have been divinely guided from opportunity to opportunity. I've driven big trucks and large farm machinery on the 2,000-mile harvest through the US and Canada. I've accumulated over 100 dives on a volunteer coral reef monitoring project in Mexico, where I met the most incredible lady, my wife, my soulmate. I became an international real estate investor. I bought and sold houses, apartments, created several successful businesses and sold them for significant profits. Created and operated luxury resort and wellness center. I became a father for the first time while living in the US. I've become a yoga instructor in Thailand. I've learned to ride a motorbike in Hanoi, Vietnam. I have even designed and built my own expedition vehicle to drive from Portland, Oregon to Patagonia, Chile, a journey that we are still on. I became a father for the second time in Mexico while we lived oceanfront. We are creating our pilot regenerative project here in Costa Rica at the moment, where our third son was born. At the time, my life felt like a random series of steps. When one chapter draws to a close, another opens. When you are living an inspired life, you cannot join the dots looking forward. They only make sense when you reflect back. Life truly is a journey. However, the magic is in the moments, the unexpected encounters, the acts of kindness that you share, the generosity that you receive, the conversations that illuminate your next step, the people with you on the journey. These are what weave it all together. An example of an experience which we encountered on our drive through Mexico. We were driving and we were going to enter into Mexico from the US. And somebody said to us, it's like, are you taking a gun with you? And I thought to myself, it's like, why would I do that? Because I don't want to be drawn into a situation where I might use a gun, because I know I won't. And I don't want to try and bluff somebody who might. And my encounters on the road while we've been traveling through Central America have been nothing but incredible. We have met the kindest people who've opened their doors. They've gone out of their way to ensure our safety. We broke down in the middle of the Baja of California, and two people stopped on the side of the road to help us out. We had a wiring problem on a wiring harness, the thickness of my wrist, which went around the engine. They were with us for hours, trying to isolate where the problem was. They were rigging fuses by weaving a figure of 8 around the points. They even took me to their house, which was nothing more than a wood shack, allowed me to use the phone so I could call support, the people who provided us the vehicle in the US, didn't ask for anything, and drove 45 minutes the wrong way to ensure that we got to our destination. This is the kindness you can receive in the world. This is the kindness out there. We just choose to focus on the wrong things. We choose to pay attention to the drama and the negativity when there's kindness everywhere. But I'm sharing my journey with you not as some form of bragging rights or something like that. And so please do me a favor and don't compare my journey to yours. You're only seeing a snapshot in time. Your journey is personal to you. And only you can walk it. At the same time that our life purposes are different. However, should our paths cross, I will embrace the moment and support you in any way that I can. Until it's time for us to continue our separate ways, when I will wish you all the best. On every step of the way, I've had an opportunity to learn the necessary skills to progress along my journey. Meet the person I need help from, or the person I need to help. When I have failed to learn a lesson, the universe has given me a less discreet second and even third chance to learn it. I think you can probably relate to that. We started out as a journey to find what job I wanted to do, and also delay actually getting a proper job, has led me on a journey inwards, a journey where I can shed the blankets of expectation, competition, societal pressures, other people's opinions, etc. Things that almost cause my light inside to go out. I am no longer that person. I am here to shine like a lighthouse, guide people onto their path that is aligned with their soul's purpose, and illuminate imminent danger for others. I don't belong in the shadows of other people, nor do you. It is through a series of imperfect actions that I am able to live my inspired life. And I would be honored to guide and support you on your journey. So here we are together to launch my biggest imperfect action yet, the Ripple Revolution Summit. This has been a huge growth curve for me, but it's completely aligned with my soul's purpose. I believe that we are all here with a purpose, a calling, a gift. Maybe it's just a voice inside of you. We have something to share with the world. We have just lost touch with it over the years. My gift, my purpose is to provide a safe environment where you can go inwards, start to shed what is unnecessary in your life so that you can create space for the real you to emerge unapologetically. Okay, that was much harder than I'd expected. One thing that is instrumental here is the Chinese proverb. You may have seen it in our promotional material. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. It was 20 years ago that I discovered a single black walnut tree can sell for in excess of $30,000. This is from one walnut, which in itself has an insignificant value, maybe even a negative value if somebody is paid to clean it up and remove it, but holds immense potential. It has always been a dream of mine to start a walnut farm in the south of France. However, societal judgment at the time kept me from pursuing this unconventional job, as it wasn't a career. Had I followed my dream and started planting, and just 200 trees were on their way to maturity, I could now be almost halfway through that growing season, moving towards a harvest of approximately $6 million based on those prices. This is furniture grade black walnut. At the time, I was drawn to the money because that's how I was taught to measure success. However, here I am 20 years later, and I'm taking that action. The second best time to plant a tree is now. I am taking that imperfect action now with my family, nurturing seeds in our tree nursery. And we have planted over 200 trees on our property in the last year. This time it's not for money. It's for the benefit of my 3 incredible boys and future generations. I'm curious, What seed or idea are you holding on to that needs to be planted now? There's a quote from Mary K. Ash. Most people live and die with their music still unplayed. They never dare to try. Okay, we can do this. It's time to initiate the ripple revolution now. So to start with, I just want to break it into its parts. I want to explore the different components of the ripple revolution. A ripple is a small wave or series of waves caused by an action. We have infinite potential in a finite body. We have the ability to be and do more than we could possibly imagine. Then we must radiate and share our gift once we have discovered it with those around us. Lift them up in the same way that a rising tide rises all boats. Everyone and everything benefits. Revolution, a sudden vast change in a situation, a discipline, or the way of thinking and behaving. We are living in a broken system that will never ensure our happiness. We must collaborate in creating new ways to live. We are living in a broken system that will never ensure our happiness. We must collaborate and explore ways to create new ways to live. So the ripple revolution, what isn't it? It isn't competition, and I'm very clear about that. We aren't here to judge the size of your ripple. It is a way of living where we are kind to ourselves, but that's where it begins. Kind to those around us and kind to the earth for the benefit of future generations. That's it in its simplest form. It's acknowledging that we are all connected. We are one. Our actions, both positively and negatively, impact those around us and vice versa, not just in this lifetime, but for generations. Certain speeches by great leaders of the world are literally etched in stone. And this all started with a thought that became an action and led to change through a revolution. Call me crazy, but I would like my children, their children, and future generations to have not only a habitable planet, but a thriving planet. So, if not now, when? Imperfect action is the mechanism of change. A perfect action doesn't exist. We learn through taking action and course correcting. We have an idea where we are going. We make a best guess on how we will get there. However, the true learning comes from taking action and having experiences, then evaluating and refining. During this process, we can accomplish more than we have ever imagined. If we try to calculate the perfect outcome, the results will usually be inaction, which is a huge waste of time, money, resources, energy, and potential. An attempt at a perfect outcome will always be inferior to a path of imperfect action. And why now? This moment, right now, is all that we will ever have. The future isn't certain. Nobody knows when they are going to take their last breath. Statistically, you have a certain number of years, but you are not a statistic. You are a divine being. You have a gift to share. I invite you to embody your potential and initiate the ripple that your future self is urging you to create. Besides, rather than suffocating under what could go wrong, what would happen if it went well? Heck, Even if it was just okay, that's infinitely better than stagnating where you are right now. Okay, that's a lot about me. What about your journey? Where are you on your journey? We all know that we are going to die. We've all been born at some point. So we are kind of somewhere in the middle. That gap in between birth and death is life. And we get to choose what we are doing on any given day, in any given moment. And so it's my hope, my encouragement, that you start to live your inspired life. So what I want to do, because I don't know many of you, I want to share some practical tips which you can use. They're really, really simple. Things that you can do to get started, to migrate from a path where you may feel you don't belong, you may know you don't belong on. But they're things which can start to unravel things for you so that you can embody what is truly you, the person you truly are. Connect to the inner child inside of you. Do something to fan the flame inside you. Just increase your desire for life so that you too can go out and create your ripple. So what I've done here is I've come up with 5 simple steps that you can use right now to start living your inspired life. So the first one is a gratitude practice. This practice has been instrumental for us, being my wife and I, for our family. People who regularly practice gratitude by taking time to reflect on what they are thankful for experience more positive emotions, feel more alive, sleep better, express more compassion and kindness, and even have a stronger immune system. This isn't just reserved for momentous occasions. The simple pleasures in life, like the aroma of coffee or the smell in the air of freshly cut grass, are important too. Studies show that simply keeping a gratitude journal, regularly writing brief reflections on moments for which you're thankful, can significantly increase well-being and life satisfaction. It's through gratitude that we manifest that which we want in our life. It truly is magic once you start playing around with it. The best way to reap the benefits of gratitude is to notice new things you're grateful for every day. Gratitude journaling works because it slowly changes the way we perceive situations, adjust what we focus on. While you might always be thankful for your great family, just writing, I am grateful for my family, week after week, doesn't keep your brain on alert for fresh, grateful moments. Get specific, such as writing, I am grateful that today my husband, wife, partner gave me a shoulder rub when they knew I was really stressed. And be sure to stretch yourself beyond the great stuff right in front of you. Opening your eyes to more of the world around you can deeply enhance your gratitude practice. Notice the new things each day and the small things as well. I am grateful for my pen to write with gratitudes. As you are writing your gratitudes, the most important step is to close your eyes and really feel the experience. Feel the gratitude. Allow your body to be in resonance with the energy of gratitude. It is in the feeling which pulls our manifestations towards us. My recommendation is to get a dedicated journal and gift yourself a few minutes in the morning to ground, close your eyes, connect with yourself, and record the things that you are grateful for in the moment. This was a practice that we became aware of when The Secret was launched back in 2006 and was instrumental in our ability to manifest our resort in the US for 1.35 million with none of our own money down. As foreigners, we weren't even allowed to work in the US. We had applied for a permit, but it hadn't been issued. We just knew that everything was going to work out. There was actually a point when we were denied entry back into the US and we had to wait outside of the country for 2 weeks when we owned the business. It was 2008. The market was just crashing. It was a really difficult time. But with gratitude and understanding that everything aligns divinely, we were not only able to navigate the obstacle, we were able to grow our business year on year and to create a thriving, successful business. But also, something else which is really important is share your gratitude too. Let people know that you are grateful. Write them a note, a letter, something handwritten, not just an email or a text. It's free. And it will probably mean more to them than you could possibly imagine. Okay, so the next point. This isn't mine, so I'm not claiming it, but it really resonates with me right now, right here, as we're in November. Put the no back in November. Finding things to say no. Start with the things you don't care about, you never wanted to do, that you agreed to under obligation. Somebody else's expectation that you would take on that project at work because they're not organized to handle their own stuff. There's lots of things. I'm sure that you can find something on your to-do list to say no to. I don't know. For me, my to-do list never goes away. There's always something there which I can share. I want you to remember, life is a journey with only one outcome. Nobody knows when, where, or how this will happen. If you were to ask Google, you would get the average life expectancy for the people in the US of 79.1. Men are a little bit younger, women a little older. If you consider how old your grandparents and or parents were when they passed away, for me, my dad was 52. And if I was to follow in his footsteps, I have 8 years, 3 months, 4 days left to live. This gets really real. It's my invitation to you to not waste time. Time is the most precious resource we have. That's why this exercise is so important. We will die, but will we say that we truly lived life to the fullest? Are we taking this magical experience for granted? Was it worth it? Did the earth and or humanity suffer or benefit from our existence? Although we don't know how long our journey will be, the depth and the impact that we can create is very much within our control. In a perfect life, we would go to school, then university for the first 20 years or so to get an education so that you can have a good job, become successful with a large house, nice car, blah, blah, blah. And after 40 years of service to the system, in exchange for weekends and 2 weeks of holidays per year, then we can relax and enjoy the fruits of our labor. What a load of crap. Given that the average life expectancy in the US is 80, and 20% of those people won't celebrate their 70th birthday, that's one hell of a gamble. Feeding into the system for 65 years in the hope of getting a few years at the end of your life when your body isn't in peak condition, it seems that we are being asked to play a rigged game. At this point, we are no longer required by the system as our operating systems are outdated and incompatible with current programming, and thus we are set on the discard pile. Did you know the #1 regret of the dying is I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me? In fact, nowhere in the top 5 of that list does it mention, I wish I worked more. I wish I had more money. They don't, I wish I had a certain job title. None of the things are there. It's about being happy. It's about being connected. It's about living true to yourself. So how can we change this? Being as nobody knows when they are going to take their last breath, why do we live like it won't happen to us? Especially as nobody has actually made it out of life alive ever. We need to make space in our days for something new, So start saying no to things you don't want to do, the things you don't need to do, or the things you just don't care about. You have just removed one of those blankets that is smothering your inner light. Congratulations. You have just freed up time for something meaningful to you. As we get to the end of our lives, we're going to have regrets. So we have to project forward and we have to think, okay, how are we going to measure success? How do we integrate those things which we think will be important then into life now, rather than just putting things off, just going through the motions, trudging through our to-do list, blah, 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 because nothing is certain. So my next point is understanding the true cost of living. So the elephant in the room here is our measure of success. We have been made to feel that we have made it when we have a high-paying job, an important sounding title, a large home in a prestigious neighborhood, luxury yacht, etc., etc. In this pursuit of success, people are more unhappy, unfulfilled, and more disconnected than ever before, with rates of depression and suicide skyrocketing. The true cost shows up through consumerism, which is violating Mother Earth and raping her of her resources. We need to take a step back and shift our perspective and see money for what it is. No, it's not the root of all evil, as I once believed. It's neither good nor bad. It's just money. The reality is we don't buy things with money. That's just a mechanism. In fact, we exchange a portion of our life for money, which we use to buy the stuff that we don't need, to fill the void inside of us, to impress people we don't really care about anyway, and maybe don't even care about us. It's just to appear a certain way. And don't take this wrong. I'm not here to judge you, how you spend your money, how you spend your time. We are each here on our own journey. However, my question to you, is this really what your heart desires? I want you to check in with yourself. Is what you are spending your money on worth a portion of your life? This I am passionate about. This I love working with people about. Helping people to evaluate this area of their life and uncover and unpack their finances so that they can start to see options where they only see obstacles. If you had been told by your doctor that you had 3 months left to live, would you still buy that item, the things you're buying today? If you had 1 year or 5 years, would you buy it? So why is it important now? I want you to think for a moment. You're an old person. You've had a wonderful life. You're surrounded by things. So many of those things which we think we need will end up in landfill. They never actually needed to exist. And so the cost here is we're stuck in a cycle of consuming things we don't need, which needs resources from Earth, which ultimately ends in landfill and pollution in the long term. We need to reconnect. On to my next point. It's about changing perspective. This is sounding really dark. I apologize. This is worth it. Absolutely worth it. Stepping onto a path of living an inspired life is magical, but it does take work. So my next one is change your perspective. So why do we buy these things? Because we have been conditioned to feel that we are not perfect and not enough. If you buy this object, which you think you desire, it will fix your given problem, and then you can be happy, fulfilled, retired, etc. Or I will look successful with this item. I will appear attractive with these shoes, this handbag, this something, and so on. It's all stuff that we exchange a percentage of our life for. We are attempting to fill the voids in our lives through consumerism. This happiness that lasts for only a few hours to a few days then compounds into regret with other poor choices that we have made. Then we must work more to either pay for it, because we bought it on credit, or buy something else because the void is still there. The loop continues indefinitely until you choose to reflect back on your life, what is important to you, and choose an alternative path. Sounds easy, right? Well, no, not exactly. And that's why people have to go through an awakening, a realization, or even their dark night of the soul. They have to hit rock bottom so that they can consciously choose to do things differently. It's not called the comfort zone, nothing. You must stop tolerating what you don't want in life and no longer be willing to stay where you are, where you know that you don't belong. This is what lights me up, guiding people to reconnect to themselves, uncover a way of living that is meaningful to them and creates a positive impact on the lives of others. So I want to walk through something with you here. I want to plant a seed. Have you, or do you feel imperfect in some way? I'm just curious, can I get a show of hands from people if you are feeling imperfect or have felt imperfect in the past? Cool. Well, that's not cool. That's completely wrong, but I appreciate you putting your hands up. And so I want to get back to where I was here. What is it that makes you feel this way? Is it somebody's opinion? Are you comparing yourself to an image online or an advertisement somewhere? How do you think that model in the advert feels? They might have the perfect body as defined by the consumerism-driven system that needs you to buy their product to please their investors. However, that model almost certainly hates something else about their life. It might even be their body. From what little I know about the modeling industry, it's not an attractive place to be. We are back to the oneness of life, the interconnectedness of everything. So what happens when we don't feel perfect? Typically, we buy something with a percentage of our life, of course. Who benefits from this? Yes, the corporations that are raping Mother Earth of its resources, creating stuff that doesn't need to exist or actually solve a problem, which we buy with the money that we exchange for a portion of our life. Okay, so now imagine that you are perfect, exactly as you are, and we embrace each other for who they are. No judgment. We start to see the real you. The real you with the blankets removed, the blankets that smother us, the blankets of expectation, the blankets of other people's opinions, the blankets of the shoulds. We really have to stop shoulding on ourselves, shoulding on each other, shoulding everywhere. That's horrible, and we have to let that go. And vice versa, that other people can see us. You know how once you see something, it can't be unseen? Being as this is imperfect action, and I never got the chance to create a slide to share this, this is going to have to be done as an audio exercise. Imagine if this was fun for me because it's just one of those minor tweaks. I get a giggle having spent time in a boarding school and the perfectionism over the English language and all that stuff. How punctuation in text and in social media can be so interesting. So I want to share something with you. I invite anybody here who feels that they are imperfect I want you to take the word imperfect, and all we're going to do is simply add a space and an apostrophe, and you get I'm perfect. So what I want you to feel is perfect, because your imperfections are what make you you, and that is perfect. So I want you to see imperfection for what it is. It's an engineered concept which doesn't serve anybody. Okay, maybe you're not there at genuinely believing you're perfect. This is a journey, and I'm still doing it. But there is something that anyone can do, which is a step in the right direction. It's a practice I learned from the motivational speaker Brian Tracy years ago, and it's to look at yourself in the mirror. I know that simple exercise is hard for some. And you say, I like myself. And I want you to join along with me here. This is just a little simple thing which we can do together, because I want this to be impactful for you. I like myself. I like myself. I like myself. You just keep doing it every day until you start to feel it. I know. I was the same when I first started doing this. I didn't like myself. Nobody had told me, encouraged me, or shown me how to like myself, or even accept myself. Or when as I progressed a little bit, it came out as, I like myself apart from, or I like myself but. But do it, please. This is the simplest exercise that I know, which made a huge impact in my life. Apart from the environment, which was a larger upheaval, just learning to like myself made a huge difference. Even if you have to say it through gritted teeth, it will illuminate you from the inside. So where have we got to so far? You now have both time and money available for a new venture. You have created time from saying no to other people's requests and things that really don't need doing. The money you are not spending on another pacifying need is available for something meaningful, self-development, an experience. Try a hobby, or pick up something that you used to enjoy as a child. There are so many gifts in what we used to dream as a child. The activities we used to enjoy, but we just lost touch with because we were told to grow up. We were frowned upon to have fun. So you have this money available to you, but you no longer need to buy the stuff that you don't need. So my exercise in completion of this part is I want you to start questioning every purchase. Is this a need or a want? If it's a need and it's justifiable, break it down. If you recognize it's a want, start to explore why did you think it was a need in the first place? What was it in your life? What was the void inside you which made you feel like you needed to do that? Because it's when we go into the wounds, we can uncover our gift. We have to go there. So start questioning your purchases. And then my fifth one, and this is one of my favorites, is reconnect to nature. We have so much to learn from nature and the seasons and following the natural cycles of life, primarily death and rebirth. The leaves fall from the trees in the autumn to create space for new growth in the spring. We need to allow what no longer serves us or our higher self. We need to let those things die so that we can continue to evolve into our higher purpose. In the same way, we have to create time in our schedule so that we can allow something new in. We have to let parts of ourselves die so we can evolve. Nature is a place where wisdom and perception come alive without the distractions of everyday life. An outdoor meditation or even just something as simple as a walk in nature will activate your senses and make you more alert. Spending time in nature has been proven to relieve anxiety, strengthen your immunity, reduce stress, depression, anxiety, and anger while slowing the heartbeat and restoring a sense of calm and peace. It is helpful for boosting the mood, confidence, and self-esteem, while increasing vitamin D levels in your body can improve your sleep and so much more. This is why it was tragic for me when everybody was confined indoors during COVID. It was just like the disconnect from nature just was horrific. So take time to be in nature. Tuning into the rhythm of nature feeds the soul and makes us come alive. It issues a powerful reminder that we're all part of something bigger, giving a fresh sense of perspective of our place in the world. So get outside, please. Go for a walk in your garden, around the neighborhood, in the park, in the forest, or deep into the mountains. Spend some time just sitting under a tree and silently observing observing. When we slow down and start to observe, we notice so much more. For a deeper connection, go barefoot and absorb energy from the earth. But be sure to turn your phone off, or at least in airplane mode, so that you can be fully present. Close your eyes and allow your other senses to take over just for a moment. Listen to the birds in the trees and the leaves rustling in the wind. Feel the sun on your skin. And breathe. Breathe in the prana in the natural world. Long, slow, deep breaths. Allow yourself to breathe. Allow some space in your day. When we slow down in nature, we come into resonance with nature. We become one with nature again. And we no longer pose a threat to the wild animals. Squirrels, raccoons, rabbits, and deer, depending on where you live in the world. There may be bears. Hopefully they're not threatening either. They will start coming out from the undergrowth, from hiding, and they will go about their business as though you are not even there. And remember, there is no Wi-Fi in the words, but you will have a much better connection. By reconnecting to nature, we really, truly reconnect to ourselves. Through connections to nature, we heal ourselves, and this ripples outwards through our thoughts, words, and actions. Something so simple and yet deeply profound. I want to share, there's a talk coming up on Friday by Alex Strauss, and she has some immense wisdom about connecting to nature. Her talk is Connecting with Nature for Strength, Wisdom, and Healing. And that one's coming out on Friday. So, in summary, I know these are ridiculously simple things, but if we do them every day, if we do the imperfect actions, we don't judge ourselves if we miss a day. We just start again. So the 5 points are: start, if you don't already do it, a daily gratitude practice, even if it's just one thing. Write down a few things in a dedicated journal. We do it at mealtimes. We'll go around the table and we'll share something that we're grateful for. And that's something which even our 2-year-old will do with us. Start saying no to things that aren't a clear and obvious yes. You buy stuff with a percentage of your life, so please choose wisely. You are perfectly imperfect right now. You don't have to drop 20 pounds. You don't have to. Let the shoulds go. You are perfect right now. And reconnect to nature and reconnect to yourself. So where you are now, I'm not sure where you are on your journey, but this is just the start. This will be uncomfortable and unpleasant at times. That is because you are choosing to step out of your comfort zone. This is not just worth it, it's absolutely essential for you and your journey to your higher purpose. Don't try to go alone. Reach out for support, guidance, help, encouragement. Listen to the interviews in this summit and take advantage of their wisdom, advice, and practical tools. They are generously providing you, so that you can live a meaningful life. Every one of the speakers on this lineup has gone through adversity. There are people who have faced suicide and chosen to turn their life around. Everybody here is living authentically, and that is why they are here, to be beacons to guide and inspire you to live your highest purpose. And at this point, you can also upgrade to lifetime access. So if you don't have the time in your schedule and you're not able to create enough time to listen to the interviews, for a small fee, you can upgrade to the lifetime access and you can listen to the recordings whenever you want. You can listen to them in audio in the car on your way to work or out walking. As we believe so strongly in the ripple, that the impact that ripple can create, we are donating 50% of all of the proceeds from lifetime access sales to support charities of two of the fellow speakers, Gertrude Machi and with her story, and Sadaran Jacqueline's Link Foundation. Both organizations are helping to support underprivileged children in rural communities in Zimbabwe and Liberia. The good news is that pain is only painful until it isn't. It's just a sensation. You have overcome obstacles and challenges in the past. In fact, you have overcome every obstacle in your life so far. So it's my invitation to you to stop numbing your senses through addictions and distractions. Stop seeking validation from external sources. You are perfectly imperfect. That's what makes you you. You are literally limitless. You are a divine being. So we also have to stop buying stuff that we don't need. The buying of stuff is just a symptom of a larger issue that we may be completely unconscious to. There are people here on this summit who can help you with that. It's going inwards. It's going into areas we didn't even know we had issues. We need to uncover where the void that we need to fill has come from. Most likely a childhood experience. And we are now trying to soothe this through a Band-Aid style approach. We need to explore our wounds and stop hiding from them, and that they aren't there. What they are is reality. It's a sign that we have had the strength and the courage to overcome an obstacle. It is in this journey of uncovering that we can reconnect to our true self. Our true self, before people started to smother our soul, our gift, our inner light through their projections. People are only reacting this way because they're seeing through their wounds, through their blankets. So as we go on this journey, we uncover who we truly are, and we embrace each other for who they truly are. And so it's my invitation for you to start on your journey of unbecoming. So I have a free gift which I want to share with you. This has been a difficult process for me to do this, and I apologize that don't apologize, that's actually not entirely true. I needed to get this message to you, and in order to do so, it had to come on a script. So my gift to you is I am opening up 7 spaces for a one-on-one discovery call, because I would love to explore what is possible for you, help you navigate an obstacle, help you to illuminate a path that you are called to pursue. Just find ways where I can guide, support, encourage, inspire. It begins with having the conversation. So I've opened up 7 places for discovery calls, and it's based on a first come, first served basis. So please go ahead and just submit the details into the form, and then I will reach out to you. And so I'm going to go off here. There's a few more things I want to share before we close here. And I want to go into, so I've just opened up for some questions and answers. If anybody has anything they want to share or any questions they would like to ask of me as we're drawing to a close here. So I invite anybody who has something they would like to say just to come off camera and share that. Cool. No, that's fine. If anybody does, please reach out to me. You can find me at pete@theripplerevolution.com. Anyway, so I'm just leading into a close here. I want to shine a light on this process of imperfect action. So as I embarked on this journey into creating of the summit, and so I'm just sharing some things here for me, just to empower people who are maybe afraid to step forward. They feel like they need to do certain things, have certain things in order to make progress in life. And so I want to share that my computer right now is sitting on a box on top of a yoga mat so that I could get a better angle for my camera. I haven't got a fancy desk. I don't have those things. I'm just using what I already have. It is in the simple process of taking action that we get onto our journey. And as we progress through life and as we go along our journey, the path will emerge. We can't map out our soul's purpose because our imagination and our rational thinking can't grasp what is truly potential or truly possible within us. It can only make a judgment based on our experiences. So our limitations are what get in the way. So every time we challenge our comfort zone, and every time we make a bold move to step through our comfort zone, step into something uncomfortable, that will become comfortable over time. And then we step again and step again. And life is this journey of stepping out of our comfort zone because the world needs it. The world needs what you have to say, what you have to offer. But I want to take a step back here and say, if all you can do is not be mean to yourself, that's enough. If you can be kind, that's better. There's no judgment around this. It's like how it all starts with us and radiates from there. That is where the ripple will begin. And we're in this together. And I'm just looking through to see if there's anything which I'm sure there's more I've forgotten to say. But for now, I just want to say thank you. I thank you for being here. I'm just going to have a quick peek in the chat to see if there's any questions. Thank you, Emily, for wishing me happy birthday. Does anybody have anything they would wish to add or share before, as we just draw to a close here? You're welcome, Sue. You're muted, but I can see and hear you. You're welcome, Kathleen. You're most welcome, Travis. So I hope you go on. I hope you have a wonderful day. And if there is a way that I can support you on your journey, it would be an absolute pleasure. You're very welcome, Vida. You're welcome, Linda. Thank you. Enjoy the Ripple Revolution. I'm really, really excited to see what we can create together. Have a wonderful day and enjoy the rest of the Ripple Revolution Summit. Goodbye.